you today again virtually. Yesterday I presented very important theoretical material, which might sound a bit boring for you. However, it helps you to see the process of creating listening tasks from the inside, in order to understand how to cope with it, how it works, and how to be successful at the exam. You remember yesterday we mentioned the quotation, "Forewarned is forearmed." To be prepared is half the way, half to the victory. Remember? So today we are going to go straight to our aim and to be successful at the exam. At today's lesson, we are going to work really hard, and I'm going to provide you with some really helpful tips to make life easier in terms of preparation to the exam. Also, I intend to outline a practical, easy to follow algorithm to study plan that can be used by you to improve your listening skills while preparing for listening comprehension. Well, what are you going to do at this lesson? By the end of this lesson, you will be able to understand and follow practical algorithm of doing listening exam tasks, and to develop your listening skills by doing activities and using effective exam techniques. I'm sure you heard this saying, practice makes perfect. So practice as much as possible and you will succeed at your exams. So the motto of our lesson is practice makes perfect. Well, let's get it started. While doing any listening activity, be ready to follow 3 main stages: pre-listening, while listening, and after listening. Let's start with the pre-listening stage. Some people think that that is the most important stage for being ready for the listening stuff. So, this stage is preparational stage. So, it means doing something before starting listening itself. In order to be successful, we will use this stage to get ready for the exam tasks. Number 1, be sure to cover all these points before you start listening. As I say to my students, eyes before ears. Firstly read and then only listen. So, number 1 is very important thing. Read the instruction carefully to understand what the task is. It might be multiple choice task, either with pictures or question without the illustrations, or true-false activity, true or false statements. Like this one you can see here. You are going to hear Agnes talking about her holiday. Decide if the statements from 1 to 5 are true or false. Now you are focused on understanding if you hear true statements or they are wrong. Next one, it's very important to read not only the instruction to the task, but also the whole task of the recording. For example, here you can see true-false given statements, or it might be question and the answers. So, you need to understand what is the recording about. While reading these statements or questions, you might brainstorm some ideas what the text is about. For example, if it's an announcement, try to find key points. If it's the announcement, be ready to pay attention to times or dates at the airport, at the bus station, or other places. If it's a travel blog, you may be concentrated on the places, again on the types of transport. It might be commercial. Get focused on special prices, numbers, days of the week, different sales things. If it's an interview, try to follow the order of the questions. And if it's a kind of a story, a monologue, you might hear about someone's life experience or life events, also some problems people might face with, or some political, environmental, healthy issues, whatever is around us in this world. So, when you do this task, try to underline the key words It's very important thing, or information that may be different in the recording. Let's do this with our task. We have 5 statements. Let's try to guess which information is very important, what is the key information which might help us to do the task. So, sentence number 1. Agnes didn't want to lie on the beach because she was bored with it. The keyword. She might want it. Not didn't want. Okay. Or she was bored. No. Maybe she was exhausted. Or no, she wanted to be on the beach. She was happy. So that might be a question. Number 2. On the first day of their holiday, she spent about 10 hours walking. Maybe not the first day. The second one, the third one, we don't know. And 10 hours walking. It might be 6, it might be 8, any number. She went to the town because she wanted to see her old friend. Maybe she went not to the town. Who knows that? Or she wanted to see her old friend. Maybe she wanted to visit her relatives, not friends. Okay. Next one. Even though she changed her shoes, her problems didn't stop. She might be lucky and her problems stopped. She had to stop her walking tour because she had lost her way. Maybe she had not lost her way. Maybe her money was stolen. So now it looks like keywords or information important for us is focused on. Now, let's move on. And while predicting, next step is really important about the predicting of the context and the content of the recording. Predict what might happen. Think about that. Brainstorm your ideas. Be creative. It might help you to succeed. And while thinking about predicting, answer these questions. What are they likely to say? Or maybe he or she, the people in the recording, what are they likely to say? What questions you might expect to hear if it's an interview? Which vocabulary and lexical paraphrases are likely to be used in this recording? Or which grammar paraphrases are likely to be used in this recording? Yesterday, we paid a great attention to different kinds of lexical and grammatical paraphrasing. Today, we will pay attention in practice of them. Now, there is a very nice prediction task. We need to complete one student's predictions about content of the recording. What she probably did during her holiday. She might lie on the beach, walking. What else? She might be swimming. She might be sunbathing. She might be shopping or sightseeing, very nice holiday activity. Problems she might have had. You paid attention, I'm sure. It doesn't sound like very nice holiday, a really enjoyable and entertaining one, right? So problems. In uncomfortable shoes, we've heard about that. Getting sunburned, that's why she didn't want to lie on the beach anymore. Or bad weather, it might happen. Or stolen money. It's our prediction. Now, let's think about lexical or grammatical paraphrasing. What can we hear instead of the words from the statement? For example, instead of was bored, try to find the synonym. It is fed up. Instead of want, she might didn't want fancy going. Next one, on the first day of her holiday, she spent about 10 hours working. What can be changed here? What synonyms or antonyms might be used? Here we can see trekking instead of walking or hiking instead of walking. She went to the town because she wanted to see her old friend. Interesting. What might be changed here? traveled instead of went, go, or in order to, with the purpose of. Even though she changed her shoes, her problems didn't stop. She had to change her shoes but. And the last one, it's the third conditional. If she hadn't lost her way, she wouldn't have stopped her walking tour. Well, now we are coming to our next stage, while listening. What should we do while we listen? While listening, the examinee, the person who participates in the test, has to be fully concentrated on the recording and not get distracted. It's extremely important to be attentive, to listen carefully, and also to pay attention to the voice and stressed words. If you hear unfamiliar words, or you can't understand the meaning of the recording, some words of the recording, don't get stressed or anxious about this. Being concentrated and nervous about that won't help you to do the listening task better. It can make it even worse because you are so focused on your worries and thoughts that you can't hear very important information. But remember, it's not the end of the life of the world. By relaxing and focusing 100% on what you're hearing, you have the best chance to understand the whole meaning, what is your task. Okay, next one. Don't forget to make notes while you are listening. It's really hard to remember every word in the recording. So, especially when we're talking about different names, numbers, names of the geographical places, special words, maybe from science or environmental topics. So, don't write the whole sentence or the whole word combination. Try to use shortened forms of the verbs or use symbols if it's possible. Now, while listening, we predicted, remember the previous step? Now, let's listen and realize, were we right?
CD 1, Track 3.
It's summer again, and we can't wait to go on our holidays. But not all holidays are so nice and relaxing. Here's another story in our series, A Holiday That Went Wrong. Agnes, over to you.
Last year, I decided to go on a walking tour along the coast of the Baltic Sea. I was fed up with the idea of lying on the beach, sunbathing and doing nothing. What I wanted was an active holiday. I started the preparations in June. I was very excited about it, and I couldn't wait to start. The first day was pretty good. I walked for about 4 hours in the morning and about 3 in the afternoon. But when I got to the place where I planned to spend the night, it turned out that there was not a single bed left free. I had to sleep out on the beach. The second day started with heavy rain, so my things got very wet. On the third day, I began to have problems with my shoes. They were supposed to be perfect trekking boots for all conditions, but it just wasn't true. My feet hurt so much that I had to take a bus to the nearest town to buy some other shoes. When I was there, I accidentally met an old friend. She invited me to her holiday home in the Lake District, but I refused to go because I wanted to keep walking along the seashore, so I did. Next day, though, there was not only a problem with my shoes, I mean the new ones, but also another worry. There was no way to go. The track along the shore was blocked for some reason. I thought it would take me a long time to find another route. To make things worse, my feet hurt, so I didn't feel like walking anymore. In the end, I decided to call my friend with a house in the Lake District. When she heard my voice, she said happily, "Great! We'll be lying on the beach, sunbathing, and doing nothing." Well, I must say, I quite like this idea.
Well, let's think if our predictions were correct. Have we heard anything about swimming? No, at all. What about sunbathing? A little bit. Shopping? Again, a little bit. Sightseeing? Actually, no, just the Lake District. What about problems? Getting sunburned? No. Bad weather? Yes, rain. Stolen money? No. Okay, now let's listen again and do the true-false activity itself.
CD 1, Track 3.
It's summer again, and we can't wait to go on our holidays. But not all holidays are so nice and relaxing. Here's another story in our series, A Holiday That Went Wrong. Agnes, over to you.
Last year, I decided to go on a walking tour along the coast of the Baltic Sea. I was fed up with the idea of lying on the beach, sunbathing and doing nothing. What I wanted was an active holiday. I started the preparations in June. I was very excited about it, and I couldn't wait to start. The first day was pretty good. I walked for about 4 hours in the morning and about 3 in the afternoon. But when I got to the place where I planned to spend the night, it turned out that there was not a single bed left free. I had to sleep out on the beach. The second day started with heavy rain, so my things got very wet. On the third day, I began to have problems with my shoes. They were supposed to be perfect trekking boots for all conditions, but it just wasn't true. My feet hurt so much that I had to take a bus to the nearest town to buy some other shoes. When I was there, I accidentally met an old friend. She invited me to her holiday home in the Lake District, but I refused to go because I wanted to keep walking along the seashore, so I did. The next day, though, there was not only a problem with my shoes, I mean the new ones, but also another worry. There was no way to go. The track along the shore was blocked for some reason. I thought it would take me a long time to find another route. To make things worse, my feet hurt, so I didn't feel like walking anymore. In the end, I decided to call my friend with a house in the Lake District. When she heard my voice, she said happily, "Great! We'll be lying on the beach, sunbathing, and doing nothing." Well, I must say, I quite like this idea.
While listening, you will have the chance to listen to the recording twice. And after the second listening, try to figure out what your answers are. For example, it's number 1 is true, number 2 is false, number 3 is false, number 4 is true, and number 5 is false. After doing this task, we are coming to after listening activity. And the goal of this stage is final analyzing, evaluation, comparison, explanation, contrasting, prioritizing, confirmation, judging, and of course, self-correction. After listening to the recording, please choose the correct answers which you think are right. Then check the correct answers. It's great if all your answers are okay. Hopefully it was not the guessing game. Then, in a case something went wrong, analyze your mistakes. Why? Try to analyze why your incorrect answers are wrong. Don't answer yourself like, okay, correct answer is B, okay, B is B. No, never. It's vital to understand why the correct answer is B, not A or C. If there are any hints to help answer correctly, yes, there are. After you're listening, you have your statements and you work out the correct answers, your confirmation from the text of the recording itself. And now you can see sentence number 1. Agnes didn't want to lie on the beach because she was bored with it. And in the recording you've heard, I was fed up. Did we predict that word instead of bored? Yes. With the idea of lying on the beach, sunbathing and doing nothing. On the first day of her holiday, she spent about 10 hours working. 10 hours. And in the recording, I worked about 4 hours in the morning and about 3 hours in the afternoon. 7 in total, not 10. That's why it's false. She went to the town because she wanted to see her old friend. My feet hurt so much that I had to take a bus to the nearest town to buy some other shoes. Not to meet her friend, to buy the shoes. That's why it's false. Even though she changed her shoes, her problems didn't stop. Next day, though, there was not only a problem with my shoes, I mean the new ones, but also another worry. There was no way to go. And the last one, she had to stop her walking too because she had lost her way. The track along the shore was blocked. She didn't lose her way. The track was blocked. And that's why it's false. While doing next after listening activity, listen and read the tape script. It's very important, not only to listen, but to read as well. Underline the parts of the text which confirm your correct answers. Compare vocabulary and grammar used in the recording with those you've predicted, as we've already done. You can find the tape scripts of the recording in the textbooks or on exam preparations websites. The text of this recording looks like this, so you can read it, underline whatever you need to do. Next step is summarizing your involvement. That is a very important thing. Answer these questions. Have I paid detailed attention and followed all pre-listening stages and while listening steps correctly? Have I done everything correctly? Next one, why have I made those mistakes? In a case there are some. Focus on linguistics features of the text. This is very important in terms of developing your knowledge, getting new vocabulary, understanding new grammar issues. That is very important in your English language. Every time new something learn, focus on new things to be successful at your exams. Pay attention to unknown vocabulary and new grammar. Look them up in the dictionary. And you may look up for them in grammar references as well. Watch video lessons in English where teachers explain how to use the construction, conditionals or tenses or aspects of English grammar. And of course, make notes in order to learn this material. Next time, it won't be new for you. So, let's now come back to our expectations from the lesson and remember that by the end of the lesson you will be presented this listening algorithm, so-called listening algorithm. This algorithm works well when we are talking about preparation stage, the key word for our lesson today. Preparing, preparation, practicing. Tomorrow we will deal with another listening algorithm, which is very useful during the test. While preparing, please follow these stages. Pre-listening, read the instructions. read the instructions carefully, and read the whole task carefully. Focus on the information which we can take up from the information, even from the instruction. Next one, read the whole task. Be very attentive on keywords. Underline keywords, underline the information that might trick you, that might be different in the recording. Predict the content and the context. Think about possible synonyms, antonyms. Think about what actions be likely done in this recording. Then move to while listening. While preparing, you have the chance to listen more than 2 times. Listen 5 times, 6 times, how many times you wish. Just to analyze. Be concentrated. Be concentrated on listening. Don't be distracted. Do your best to listen carefully. Don't panic. Really nice advice. Don't panic. Even if you hear unfamiliar words, don't distract yourself. Just keep on listening and you will hear important information. If you will feel anxious or worried, you will stop focusing on hearing, listening. You will be focused on your feelings, and that is a wrong way for doing listening exercise. Next one, make notes. Yes, make notes, but remember, not the whole sentences. You will not have time. If you do the whole sentences, you will miss the information from the recording. Try to use symbols and shorten words. After listening, check your correct answers. Yes, you will have a chance to do that. You will find the answers at the website or in the textbooks. Analyze your mistakes. It's very important. Think why it's not correct. Why you thought it was correct. Think about that. What were the hints? What information you didn't pay attention to while doing the exercise? Confirm correct answers. Yes, just be sure. Answer B is correct because in the statement is said this, and in the recording is the same thing, but the other words, but the meaning is the same. Next one, summarize your own involvement. Remember, analyze yourself. Think, what have you done correctly? What have you done wrong? What you could change to be successful while doing next exercise? Think about you. Think, what would you change next time? And the last one is focus on linguistic features of the text. Because doing exercise, it's not just doing, okay, true, false, goodbye. No, it's learning your vocabulary, learning your grammar. Next time, when you come across the same words, they won't be unfamiliar for you because you've learned them while doing the previous task. Never stop learning. Make notes and learn everything new. And we started with our motto, practice makes perfect. Wish you to practice as much as possible. Don't waste your time on things you don't need. Focus on preparing for your ZNO test. And keep calm and good luck. Tomorrow we will talk about listening strategies and listening algorithm during the test itself. How to cope with the test and get the maximum score. Thank you very much for attention. See you tomorrow.